Well, Julian, I think the challenge for us was that this was a more unusual and unknown story. So it had both its challenges, but it also opened up and freed us in a certain way. And you mentioned Belfast. We had such a great experience on Belfast, being very limited. And we were slightly limited compared to the other films here. We had a smaller budget and a smaller schedule, but we felt that we had a kind of a very profound story to make in terms of the, the thriller horror aspects of it, in that such a horrific crime, such an unthinkable crime, that it just lent itself to the horror world. And what I've always admired about Agatha Christie is she's managed to, within kind of, while she sweeps you away and takes you to places you've never been, she always manages to cut straight through to the human condition, and that there is an almost ancient kind of catharsis process in going through reenactment of the crimes, the psychology behind the motivation, and the general human condition that you discover. And I think that's really where you feel the need to be both intimate and dark, and to use shadow, and to in a way, the sight unseen. What you don't see is what terrifies you the most, and what you don't see is really what you're trying to get to the bottom of, which is what Poirot is trying to do in this case. One of the things that took us a long time to understand and is the actual setup. And I think it was a genius idea by Kenneth to set kind of seance leader, played by the incredible Michelle Yeoh, in the center, with the tables as a cross around her. That is not written in the script. That is pure Kenneth Branagh direction. He thought about it, rehearsed it, used stand-ins. We walked the set. We talked about it. He went over and over in his mind, and we kind of thought, well, it would be nice to put her in the middle, because in seances, usually everyone's in a circle. And so he came up with this kind of blocking, and I think from there, it all unfolded from there. So in doing so, I thought, well, what if I figure out a way where the camera can spin around with the protagonist in this seance, and that it also gave the chance that the point of view would always be circular. That gave another opportunity for Poirot to be on the outside, looking in at all of this and pacing in another. And so this kind of orbital, circular kind of blocking came out of that, and it was so simple. It was very simple. And on top of all of that simplicity, we have this performance by Michelle, which is absolutely riveting. And you feel the terror because you're with her. And there's something predatory about this, and something very, very terrifying. I think you feel like you're kind of lunch for a school of barracudas in that scene. And that really came up with the, if the blocking works, then everything falls into place. And that's where Kenneth did a genius job as a director and a protagonist in that scene. Okay, so one of the things we learned on Belfast is that if you don't move the camera a lot, when you do move it, it's really earned, and it's well received by the audience, and it means something. So in this case, the traditional options would have been to do Steadicam or handheld and to follow a character and do their point of view. And I suggested that we attach the camera to Poirot in this case. So I got a smaller kind of camera, a Sigma FPL, which is actually a consumer camera, and a lightweight lens. And we built a rig that with a harness that attached the camera to Poirot. And he took the walk with all the water and the rain coming in and the smashing SFX kind of log that came through. So you're actually with him. So we did one that was in front of him, one that was behind him over his back. And then it seemed logical that instead of having kind of either myself or Luke Redgrave, the operator, do the point of view, we would just turn the camera around, and it would be it would actually be Poirot's POV, so that there was an integrity and an authenticity to all of that. But those are the actual three angles in that scene, and it was so simply done in a very short amount of time. But it was just, I think it suited the scene. It was authentic, it was immersive, and it made the audience, I hope, feel as if they were experiencing what Poirot was experiencing.